This is probably the biggest mistake I've made in my YouTube career. I am man enough to own up to my mistakes, to know exactly when I am in the wrong, and I give full credit to my wife in teaching me that valuable lesson. However, today's lesson and mistake has nothing to do with my marriage and everything to do with a video that I recently published. Tell you what, that's more forgiving than it looks. Oh, I made a huge mistake, didn't I? And I'm not too sure what makes it worse. The fact that I forgot the brand altogether when it comes to the iron category, or the fact that I've made multiple videos over the last year saying just how good this iron brand exactly is. Oh, it's flying. Now shout out to Adrian Cox, who delivered the blow to myself at 8 o'clock in the evening whilst I was sitting having dinner with my wife. And I looked at my wife and went, I've made a big error here. I've forgotten one of the most famous iron brands of all time. An iron brand that has more major wins than any other brand out there. Some of the greats, I'm talking greats, use this brand before players were even paid to use a particular brand itself. And Adrian, always commenting on my videos, supportive of the channel, so big shout out to you, sir. Explained it incredibly well. And because of that, man, and my aid to kind of rectify my mistake, I've got a replica of the irons, commemorative set of the irons that he suggested should be in the icon list. So hopefully this video makes up for my mistake. Now I have to thank my friends at Replay Golf for hooking me up with arguably one of the best looking player irons I've seen, for especially the year that they came out. These are serious contenders when it comes to aesthetics, looks, controlness, but still having that element of forgiveness, that underbelly that's definitely not shown. Adrian suggested I get hold of the FG17 irons, which sadly, they came out in 1981, I wasn't able to get a hold of. But thank you to my friends at Replay Golf. Oh, that is struck. I've been able to get a set that came out in 2009 to commemorate that exact model, and it's a nice little balance of iconic iron design with a bit of a modern twist. Now, if you're a golf club manufacturer and you've got the most major wins of all time with your iron brand, you're going to shout about it. And Wilson loves a commemorative set. I did a video ages ago on the FG Tour 100 anniversary irons, which looked incredible. I still wish I had the set that I used in my possession, and one day I will have that set back in the garage. But at the moment, I'm just pleased that I get to test the FG 59, 59 standing for 59 major championships that Wilson had currently won in 2008 when they released this iron set. Ladies and gents, I give you the Wilson Staff Tour Blade FG 59 forged iron staff to commemorate the iconic FG17 irons that were played by some of the greats. And just to give you an example of the players that used to play with Wilson Staff, we're talking Sam Snead, Arnold Palmer, Bernard Langer, John Daly, Padraig Harrington, Nick Faldo, some of the greatest players to ever grace the game. So the big question now really is, Simon, why didn't you put Wilson Staff in the ranking list whatsoever? Is it because you don't like them? Is it because they've not necessarily got the same kind of pull as they did back in the 1980s, 1990s with some of the greatest players of all time? My honest answer is that it was a massive lapse of judgment, and to be honest, I completely forgot. Just look at this 3 iron, absolutely stunning. And the Wilson Staff FG range is fantastic in its design, as it looks like it's got no top line at address, yet has that iconic sole and camber design at the back there that does give you some element of forgiveness and launch behind the ball. And let me tell you why my outlandish stupidity is a great thing. Because in 2022, you have a YouTuber that designs his business and merit around knowing brands through and through, brand new or secondhand. And even in the year 2022, somehow, at my own downfall, I forgot about Wilson Staff when it comes to irons. Oh, that is absolutely nuked. Which is great news for a lot of you guys watching this video, because if I forgot about Wilson Staff, arguably one of the most iconic iron brands out there, I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that have forgotten too. So I'm just going to show you some recently sold on eBay in terms of secondhand prices of Wilson Staff irons, because even though the quality of them are amazing, I even put them in my most underrated irons, which goes to show you how stupid my mistake was. But because they don't have the marketing, PR, professionals, as the big boys, not many people look for them when it comes to grabbing a bargain, which is great news. Because let me tell you, when it comes to iron manufacturing, Wilson, 1980s, 1990, 2022, do it as good as the rest. So ultimately, what can we learn from my stupidity? Number one, Wilson Staff make outrageously good irons. And in the second-hand market, because they don't necessarily have as much awareness in 2022, you can take a serious advantage in terms of value for money. For all you guys going, Simon, I'm a 20 handicapper Simon, I'm a 12 handicapper Simon, I want a Ford Simon, I want this, but I don't want to spend more than £300. Well, here is your answer. Right! Perfectly timed. Number two is that we've been approaching the peak with forged bladed players irons for an incredibly long time. The more stuff you put in the back of it to give you that necessary forgiveness takes away from that sharp line control that a decent ball striker is actually looking for. And if you need to fade the ball around a tree from 200 yards with a 5 iron, these are the ones that can do it. I'm so glad I actually pulled that off after saying all of that. And then lastly, number three, always check your homework before submitting it. If you like this video, you might like this one up here on the left hand side. Catch you guys there.